right, let's just jump right into this. Andrew Tate.
Long time.
I know, it's been a very long time.
Very long time.
Actually, I met you downstairs at the Ritz.
Correct.
George and I were engaged at the time.
Yep.
And I probably was very swept up in George and barely got time to talk to you. But I do remember you being very polite. So it's
what that means is that when Candace Owens met Andrew Tate, she had no idea who he was. She ignored him or brushed him off because she didn't realize who he was, because she was more focused on landing her rich British aristocrat husband. And then after Candace Owens met Andrew Tate, not realizing who he was and brushing him off, that's when Andrew Tate probably became like the most Googled man in the world. And all of a sudden, Candace Owens was like, oh, maybe you should have paid more attention to him. and now Candace Owens is like back trying to be like, I was just really caught up in my relationship at the time. But that's what happened. Candace Owens didn't know who he was, brushed him off, and now she's trying to do a mea culpa because now Andrew Tate's going to get Candace Owens a lot of views and make Candace Owens a lot of money, so she has to kiss his ass a little bit.
So I do not like that these things are being conflated, but I want to park that aside because we are going to get into your case and just stick with what you just said about the webcam business. So you say you don't have any guilt for it.
I'm not sorry. I don't operate in that frame. I don't think it's an intelligent way for a man to go through life to say, I'm sorry. At a younger age, I did the best I could possibly do. And I did the best I believed at the time. And you grow from it and you learn. And perhaps there's times in your life where you look back and think, well, maybe I would have done this differently, because hindsight's always 20/20. But every rapper sold drugs. Like you get to a certain stage in your career where you no longer sell drugs and you don't do it anymore. But that's part of the life journey, and life's messy. And I'm not going to sit here and apologize to any conservative who wants to sit me down and try and give me some moral high ground garbage. I'm not going to listen to it. I had a very rough upbringing, a very tough life, and it could have been so much worse in so many ways. I've done nothing illegal. I've never hurt anybody. Everybody who was involved in my life back then are massive supporters of me. And I think it's very hypocritical for someone to sit, look at a situation they were not involved in and don't understand, look at old clips taken out of context, and then tell me and a whole bunch of people.
Doesn't Andrew Tate seem, well, a little bit defensive, considering that Candace Owens has done nothing but kiss his ass in the first 10 minutes of this interview and do him a solid by not showing the clips, showing Andrew Tate talking about his pimpin' hose degree and about how he would get women drunk and fuck them to convince them to become his OnlyFans models, and how he taught other men to do the same thing. And, oh yeah, beating women on camera, which, oh, of course, it's just role play, except it wasn't really role play. And anyone who's ever done role play knew it wasn't really role play. I'm sorry. Like, isn't it kind of funny that Candace Owens is basically lobbing Andrew Tate softball after softball? Andrew, you are just a victim. I just don't understand why people don't like you, Andrew. You are so great and so amazing. And I really, when we first met, I really regret not taking more of an interest, because, now you can give me lots of clicks and money and all the, and so it, like, Candace Owens is being so nice to him, and he's still being extremely defensive. He's not even looking Candace Owens in the eye. He's going off on rants as though someone is grilling him and questioning him far more harshly than he's being questioned. Like, it's telling how defensive he's being. Who should men listen to in 2023? Anyone who is not a raging asshole. Like, it's really, guys, like, the bar is really not that high. It's really not. You guys pick the most horrible people to listen to. You really do. You pick the bottom of the barrel, most horrible people to listen to. So if you just raise your standards just like 10% and expanded your horizon beyond the most overt narcissistic assholes like Andrew Tate, you would probably be better off.
Who were in my life who were all perfectly happy that something bad happened and something wrong happened. I don't think that's genuine. And for that reason, I'm not going to sit and be preached to by these people who are imperfect themselves. Everybody's imperfect. And another thing that's really important, we talk about Christian values. I also think that I find it very interesting and ironic that I'm somehow the problem, and these Christians feel like they need to come and attack me now in the name of Christian values. I think Christianity has much bigger problems than Andrew Tate and some old clips. I think they have much bigger problems that are happening in their churches on a daily. I think you can go to a Christian church in a lot of America and be very disappointed in what you've seen. I don't think I'm the problem with Christianity.
Well, I don't think he's the problem with Christianity either, because he's not a Christian. So again, like, I'm not on his side on that one, but you can't expect someone who's not a Christian to adhere to Christian values. Emo Dante, thank you for the super chat. Honest question, could Tate be telling the truth because he doesn't see anything wrong with his actions? That is consistent with narcissists. Well, it doesn't mean he's telling the truth, though. It doesn't mean narcissists never see anything wrong with their actions. Narcissists will blame and deflect and do everything they can to not accept personal responsibility. So just because he doesn't see anything wrong with his actions, because he is a narcissist and will constantly reframe his worldview in order to obfuscate any responsibility at all, doesn't mean he's telling the truth. It means he's lying to himself in order to maintain the facade required so that his narcissism does not destroy him. Shauna, friendly PSA reminder that Hassan Piker outwitted Tate in a debate. I'm going to assume that was debate. I've never seen that debate. Maybe I will check into that debate, Shauna. Thank you so much.
And yeah, it's very interesting. But there was a webcam company, and I've talked about it at length on many different podcasts. I had a business. Many girls on there were perfectly fully clothed and would paint pictures or sing and dance and laugh. I've talked about this at length. I've had nothing to do with it for 10 or 11 years. And
you're telling us that the thing that men were paying, like in his interview with Tucker Carlson, he said that men would literally mortgage their houses to send him these giant checks because of the women that he had on the internet. And you're going to tell me that the women that what the men were paying for was watching women fully clothed painting a picture? I don't find that believable, Andrew. I'm sorry.
Nobody was ever hurt. And I am not sorry for it. I don't see why I should be.
Okay. The thing I find to be the most interesting about you is that younger boys love you.
Yes.
They absolutely, like the 12, 13-year-old, 14-year-old. I have not come across a 12, 13-year-old boy who's not just an Andrew Tate stan.
Yeah.
And I think it's remarkable. It gives you a lot of power. And I think this is perhaps the interest that a lot of people have in you is, what are you going to do with this power, right? You have all of these boys, they believe in you, they stand up for you. And that is why it becomes important to state, I'm not sorry that I lived this. I don't think I would say that I'm sorry for anything decisions that I made when I was young either, because this is the deck of hands that I was given. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do try to, now knowing that I have such a following of a lot of young ladies that follow me, say like, listen, I did the idiot stuff, so you don't have to.
Power and responsibility go hand in hand. And that's the thing that's so interesting, these out-of-date clips, and they want to talk about these things from 10 years ago. At the time when I was talking to camera, those videos were made for private circulation initially. Secondly, I wasn't trying to educate the world on anything back then. I didn't have the kind of power and influence I have back then. The way you say something to a video which has 50 viewers has to be different than the way you say something to a video that has 50 million viewers. Mm-hmm. Power and responsibility absolutely go together, and I understand that very well, and I understand the power I have. And I do believe I'm now an absolute force for good in the world, and I'm far more careful with how I'll project myself with certain ideas. Absolutely agree.
You look scared.
But
did you guys just see that? Hang on, let me see if I can. Oh, yeah, that's definitely someone who's confident. He looks scared. Andrew Tate is spooked, man, about all this stuff. That's funny.
Project myself with certain ideas.
Look how scared he looks. That's not a powerful person, guys. That is a weak person. This is like your classic, like, lower level narcissist. He is terrified that his facade is going to come down and who he really is going to be perceived by the world. And he will do anything to cover that up.
Ideas. Absolutely agree. Completely. But That's the thing that's even so
No,
crazy
he
about
is.
all of it. These old videos.
No. Him being scared is not a reflection that he's not the narcissist. It's a reflection of the fact that he is the narcissist because he is afraid of people seeing through the facade. He is not a high-level narcissist. He is a very low-level, stupid narcissist. So that's going to be a very tangible thing for him, much more than like a higher-level narcissist. Yes, exactly. He's in fight or flight right now. That is a great observation, Connie.
Videos everyone's so concerned about wouldn't even circulate if my haters weren't constantly trying to use them against me. They'd be disappeared into the history of the internet. I don't know where these things come from. I don't know where they were found. I don't know where they are. It's kind of crazy. A lot of people are making all these constant attacks on me, and I don't watch a lot of it. I'll have to be honest with you, Candace. I don't watch all of it, but a lot of the videos are so outdated. The only reason they even exist now is because my haters are so desperate trying to take me down. They don't have any concern for them being seen.
No, this is also not true. He is exactly as narcissistic as we think. He is. Do not confuse the fear with a lack of narcissism. It is the narcissism that's causing the fear.
It's all massively hypocritical. I do understand that some people would hear that and go, oh, he's a bad person, etc. I don't think I was a bad person. I never hurt anybody. I think I could have done much worse things. I know many people from my circumstances who did many things worse than what I did. And all in all, I'm not going to sit and pretend I'm sorry for something I'm not sorry for. And I just want to make it clear to the world that, like you said, people come from different backgrounds and people grow and people change, etc. But I also look at the world in a different way. I think that we're all constantly doing our best. I think I'm doing the best I can right now. When I'm 55, I might watch this interview and think I'm an idiot, right? And I think we're all constantly doing our best. And I did the best I could do at the time. And I don't think it makes sense for me to hate past me for doing his best. I just don't think that's a very constructive mindset.
Isn't it interesting that when he did the interview with Tucker Carlson, there were times when Andrew Tate would look directly into the camera? Like, it was actually creepy. Like, Andrew Tate every 15 minutes or so would look directly into the camera and talk to it. But in this interview, not only is Andrew Tate not looking at Candace Owens, and by the way, in the Tucker Carlson interview, Andrew Tate was looking, if he wasn't looking in the camera, he was looking directly at Tucker Carlson. He was seated facing Tucker Carlson. He was looking to him directly in the eye, and except when he would veer off and he'd look directly into the camera. Let's think about the body language being different in this one. Not only is he not looking Candace Owens directly in the eye, he's actually not even facing Candace Owens. He's facing a weird angle where he's like looking at a wall or something. I mean, I kind of wonder, is his brother over there? Someone said like maybe he's reading off a teleprompter. I don't think he's reading off a teleprompter. I think there's someone over there. I bet you it's his brother that's like sitting there listening, that he's looking at his brother for like reassurance or something like that. Because he's not looking at Candace Owens, probably because he doesn't respect women. That's a really good point, Heidi. I hadn't thought of that. But not only, like, he's not looking in the camera, he's not looking at the person interviewing him, he's looking off into a corner somewhere. It's just weird. And I think it's very telling of why he looks so scared sometimes.